and welcome to the Power of the Unanswered Quote. My name is Dana Zifisak, and I'm a travel agent educator. I teach other agents the things I did to build my business over the past 12 years so that you can build yours too. Today, our topic is about following up. And so, if you are either catching this on the replay or you're with me now, I want you to tell me how many times do you follow up after sending a quote? Tell me, how many times do you follow up when you're sending a quote? Tell me in the comments, how many times do you follow up after you give a quote? There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, so the number of follow-ups isn't necessarily well, it is important, but it's not there's no hard and fast rule. I tend to have a 5 follow-up system. I don't generally get to 5 follow-ups because normally I've heard back from the people by the time that we've gotten there. Okay, so let's start with an unanswered quote. What do I mean by an unanswered quote? I mean, you put your time and energy into creating a quote, and then they didn't respond. All you heard back was crickets. So a lot of times we have a lot of assumptions when someone doesn't respond to a quote right away. All right. We think, oh, they must have booked themselves, or, oh, well, they must have gone to another agent. They must have been price shopping me. We have all these different thoughts. Okay. When it comes to when we issue a quote and nobody returns they don't book or they don't respond at all. There are a couple other reasons. There are a couple of reasons that we have to give people space after we've given them a quote. Now, again, there are going to be people who are ready to book and they've got their credit card ready, and we love them. We love them because they know what they want and they are often more easily, they're ready to book. However, not everyone is. So sometimes people they don't want to say that they're not ready to commit. Okay. But that's the truth. They're not ready to commit to a $10,000 vacation at the moment. Sometimes they don't want to say it. So you might have to just follow up and let them know, hey, if now's not the right time, let me know so I can keep you on my list for when a discount comes out, or for next year, for quoting for next year in case you need to wait a year. Having this open conversation really helps you with the overall, because what will happen is, even if they're not ready right now, if you keep them in your world, when they're ready to go, it's a higher likelihood they're going to book with you. They forgot. They might have forgotten. How many of us have forgotten to do something many, many times? We just forget. Okay. If it's not at the top of our list, we think, oh, well, we just forget about it. And we do our clients a disservice. So some people say, like, so when I say I follow up 5 times, I have a 5 follow-up system. Some people are like, wait a second, what? That's way too many times. Well, when you think about the fact of how many times do you have to remind your kids to put their socks away, or don't forget to bring your socks down, don't forget to brush your teeth, put deodorant on. I feel like I'm going to be saying that. I mean, gosh, I hope that when my son is older, he'll remember to do those things, but I don't know. They forget. People are, oh, hold on one second. Brycey, no. The mailman is here. So you very rarely hear my dog, but when that mailman comes, he is ready for him. Okay. So anywho, back to they forgot. All right. They forgot. People forget. So that's why when we send a reminder, we send a follow-up, it's to help them remember. All right. For example, I have a HVAC plan, to keep the HVAC system up to date. I've already paid for it. It's an auto subscription thing, but they keep following up with me to make sure I have the technician come and make sure my unit is ready for winter. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're not forgetting about them because they forgot, but it could more be that you're forgetting them. Who's forgetting who? When you're sending a quote out, you have to remember that your people have so much going on, the people who you're working with. And just think about you. You have so much going on. Like, for example, like I've talked about with the HVAC guy. They call me. I mean, they do pester me because it's like, okay, let us schedule it because they don't want to see my heater go on something that could have been preventable. Okay. We don't want to see our clients lose out on a good deal or good flights or a good room or a good price on a room because they, because they forgot. That's our job, is to make sure they know what's available to them. And sometimes that takes a while. And finally, they are just so overwhelmed and confused by everything that putting a deposit down, they don't know the first step to that. So we have to remember that we are we're their connection between the destination and them. Okay. So if they say they need to set up an account and those kinds of things, that can be overwhelming for people. So letting them know, hey, I'm going to walk you through this so you don't have to worry about, figuring out how to do this, how to do that. You can walk them through it. You can hold their hand. They need to know that that's why you're there. Okay. And a lot of things can be confusing, like especially with an online form and, payment. You want to make sure that you can walk them through things. A lot of times what I do is when I send a quote, I actually do a walkthrough of the quote with them. I share my screen on Zoom. Usually I do not ever have the camera on because I'm not camera ready a lot of times when I'm doing quotes. Okay. No need for the camera. I share the screen and I just talk them through the quote. And then I say, okay, when you're ready to book, you're going to click here. And I show them as a walkthrough. And that really helps them, first of all, understand what they're looking at in the quote. All right. Because a lot of times they don't know what things mean. Okay. We live in this world, and this world is confusing. Okay. This travel industry, we have to make sure that when we are giving them a quote, that we're giving them information that is simple and easy to understand. I know it's a lot. Following up, closing the sale, all of these things, you have to stay committed. Okay. Now, and if you feel like you need to freshen up your sales process, I am doing a boot camp. It's going to go on sale next week. It's going to go on sale on Monday. Okay. And November 17th, 18th, 19th. I'm going to give you my entire sales playbook over those 3 days. Okay. Normally this is a 5-week course. This is a crash course. Okay. It's set up a little differently than my normal course, but it's the same information. And you also get some one-on-one calls with me in place of group coaching. So be on the lookout. Check your email. I'm going to talk about it next week, but I've been doing this Fall into Sales series to kind of give you a little primer. And if you feel like you need a little extra help, this boot camp is for you. It's 3 days. You get all the replays, all that. I'll talk more about that next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.